So we have this magnet fishing magnet bought on Amazon. I'll put the link to it down below. I'm not sponsored by the company or Amazon, just wanted to share. And when it's shipped, it comes in this foam a container, and there's a lid for the foam. And I recommend that you keep this because then you can, after you're done using it, put it back in here. That way, if it's you have it next to your pocket, your keys, or your car, or something that's metal, it doesn't go slamming into it and pinch your finger or hurting your car paint job or whatever else. So so keep this, but then it's just not, I mean, it's just beat up and hammered, and you know, it's discolored right now, and the edges are kind of knocked off because I've been using this for about a week or so now. And what I want to do is create a wooden box, maybe with the lid on it, or at least a box to protect this foam that will protect the magnet as I'm using it for my magnet fishing hobby. Yeah, so join me in trying to figure out how to make a box for this magnet. All right, so I have some scrap plywood. I did not want to use like 2x4s or like old pallet boards because I want this to be sturdy, and I don't want to. With these pallet boards, you have to pre-drill, and I don't want to spend a lot of time on this. So I'm thinking I'm gonna use a pin nailer to put this together with some wood glue. So there's not, with these, I'd have to probably use screws. With this is pretty hardy stuff, sanded, and it will last a long time. This stuff will get warped and whatever else. So I'm going to use plywood. Now I have some scrap pieces that I believe will work for this job. I want to make sure that I have one straight edge to use my saw to cut. So I have 2, 4, 5 at least edges that I need one to cover. At this point, I'm still debating on whether to have a lid or not. So sort of a lid with a hinge, with a clasp or whatever. But at least for now, just get the 5 sides started. So let's start with this one. I'm not gonna measure the because it's like it's foam, so it's kind of fluid. Not fluid. It can be compressed. So this is about the same exact width. You can see that or not. I'm just gonna measure to have the edge be flush here, and then take my pencil on the other side and dry line on the edge. So then we can cut this out, and then we'll do another one for the other side. I have to mark, so I'm going to mark this here as bottom, so I know which one is going where. This means that the outside have to be longer than this edge, because I have to make sure that it can be pinned into this side, right? So always wear ear and eye protection when sawing. Looking pretty good. All right, so now that is at the bottom piece. That's the start. So let's start with another piece of scrap plywood, and we'll map out this side in order to make sure that we can cut this. Use this as a straight edge on the back fence of the saw. Doing this side, so measure, go to the edge of this where it starts to turn. Make sure this side is flush. Mark it, and then use this as a spacer because it's going to be on the side. Mark there. All right. Ear and eye protection. Forgot one more item, which would be this piece. Yeah, so like this, it's flush with this edge and the bottom, to mark one more time on that edge. Yeah, so one more time. All right. That's one. So then we need just to make a match of this piece. So instead of going through measuring with the box, I'm just going to go through and use this as a template on another scrap piece of wood, just on the outside. Yeah, should be fine. All right, that matches perfectly. So these are the sides. Is that how I measured this? Okay, those are the sides. Those are good. Now the front and the back. Right, so this piece has to go all the way down to the floor, to the bottom, to be able to nail to this bottom piece. Now put this on the ground. Because of the scrap piece, that should actually, yeah, it's gonna hit basically. Let me see that or not. It's gonna not reach the very top of this piece here, which is totally fine because it's just more functional of a box than having me look pretty. So that should be fine. So let's confirm, mark it. One side, other side, should be good. Alright, so that's cut. Now I'm gonna just mark the top. That should be fun. Okay, mark top. We'll cut this. Alright, so we have the bottom sides and one of the this piece here, so we need one more. Use this piece as a template, not to go through holding it again. Should be fine. Alright, pieces together. This, looking good. Alright, let's go ahead and glue it and pin it. Alright, so I have my pinner all set up. An air hose compressor all set up and ready to go. I have my wood glue on a scrap piece of wood. And what I like to do is I put it on here and I put it upside down so it would go out. This stuff is hard to work with, just kind of squeezing out. So what I like to do is Harbor Freight sells a bunch of these brushes, and I use the glue Just gonna dab it on here and then go along the edge, and that works great. If I'm squeezing on there, use my finger or a blade. Yeah. So let's glue it up and pin it. All right, so there you have it. A box for your foam, for your magnet. Box is not perfect. I guess I should have, in hindsight, measured the foam before I just drew with the pencil where it should be. It's not perfect on each side. It's functional. If you wanted to put like spray adhesive in the box and then reset this foam in so this won't go anywhere, but as right now it's kind of hard to get out, so it should be fine. If you wanted to, so as right now, make sure there's no pin nail sticking out like this like right here. Take a wet cloth and get rid of all the glue. You want to just use the same method and make a top for this so the magnet may not come out. Or maybe what I'll do is I'll put a latch, put the magnet in here, put some sort of like a hinge and a latch, so it won't come out. There's no like top for it because you still have the rope that's on top of the magnet that you can't take on and off, right? So yeah, so that should be about it. So what I'm suggesting is having some sort of like a bar that would go on either side, maybe both, and then would flip over. So this, when you're in your car and out on the water, if you flip this over, this won't come out. It's going to be secure, but enough where the rope can still be free, not get to rub against something or whatever else. So let's try to figure out a way to have a hinge on here. Alright, so what I found are these curved scrap pieces. So again, they're both plywood. They're from another project that I made, that I cut out. I made a step stool for my daughter to the bathroom. So anyway, if we put it on top of here, it's curved, so it will go around the eye hook. When I cut them so it's not as curved, and then I put them kind of like overlap like this, flush, and then if we turn, that will make room for the eye hook and the rope, and then if you turn it over, it won't come out. So I'm going to try to use these, put them together, have a hinge, and then a lock, and that should be good. So check it out. does up the fitting. I like that a lot. I like that a lot. All right, so let's continue. So I'm thinking of taking this thin piece plywood, making strips to connect this piece, and then have a hinge on one end. But then I'm thinking I need to have a way of having this rope come in and out. Even if I hinge it, I need to make sure maybe there's space like this, so then this part is connected with the hinge going up like this, and then so that way this rope, this comes up like this, the rope can come freely, but this is still secure. So let's cut down a piece and put it as close to, give it a gap so it's evenly spaced as possible. So I'm gonna go inside of the box, either side. So I got about 2 inches from here to here. Make a piece that will fit in this part. Secure this piece to this, and then we'll go from there. Cool. Looking good, looking good. All right, let's go ahead and secure that. Okay, so I have a hinge I'm gonna use, so put it on the one side of the box and the other side into the meat of this part. So I'm going to mark it and then do a pre-drill, and then we'll go from there. All right, I found some screws, and let's continue this process. I want to make sure that my screws weren't too long, so I'm going to take out the magnet. weren't sticking into the foam, or at least not where the magnet is, so we're good to go. It's back on here. So that seems to be good and secure, as long as this pin doesn't come out. For the hinge, now I need a way to secure this so it won't continue to come out. So we need some sort of a latch onto here. I'll get that next. Now we need to figure out how to latch this to this box, so then this won't come undone. But as of right now, just upside down, this magnet will not go anywhere. Alright, so let's see what I can devise to put on here. Found another spare hinge. See that one? And then this, it comes to it. So if I put this on the face and this one on here, then possibly if I put like a pin through this will not come undone. And this latches, so you take it like this, comes out, down, in. Alright, so let's configure that bad boy.
These screws will not be too long. Too long, so I'm going to use these smaller ones.
Now I figure out what to put through this in here so this won't pop off. And for now, just like a wire, crimp down. Alright, so that's good to go. Now the issue is, I don't want to, in here is pretty rough, and I want to mess up the rope by having it go in and out and ruffling it. So I'm trying to see if I can sand this. I'm gonna take a router. I'm trying to router this out. Used a router and then sanded on here, make sure that this edge is smooth so the rope doesn't get frayed or caught in there. And I put back on the hinge for the latch. Let's try it out and see if it works. in there. Done. Latch. Flat. Close this. So now this is on there. Then we have just wire to go through this hole. Turn it, and we're good. So that is just a quick and easy DIY, do-it-yourself box for your magnet. That way that you can utilize the foam that it came in from whoever you got it from. I assume Amazon. And you can keep it on your rope, and you don't have to worry about it getting caught on something, smashing your finger between this magnet and your car, or something that is hard like a vise. So I think this is went pretty good. It's not that great looking. I mean, you could make it perfect, making sure that all the edges are flush, which I didn't do. You can paint it, you can router all the edges, make sure that it's all smooth. But for the purposes of just getting it done and making sure that it's functional, it does the job, I think we did pretty good. So you can, I mean, obviously you can put a handle here if you want to, or just carry it by the rope. But I think that went pretty well. All right, folks. Well, thank you for. If you have any questions or comments, please leave down below. And thanks for tuning in again. All right, cheers.